very lovely, very pious, very spiritual. And what really attracts me about Prabhuji is that, his focus on the basics, his focus on how we can really understand the mood of the Prabhupada, what is really coming in the Parampara. He strictly follows, right, that okay, whatever is really coming from the spiritual master, the Guru and Srila Prabhupada, is the life and soul of a devotee. And once you practice it, and there is nothing, no obstacle, no challenges that can really obstruct us. And Prabhuji every day, right, for last more than 15 years or so, always attends Mangal Aarti program. And he encourages everybody to attend Mangal Aarti program. Today morning also, we had this Prabhuji came after 2-hour class in our ACA center. He was talking about how the basics of our sadhana is very important to progress in our spirituality. He emphasizes a lot on really how we should be determined for the devotion. Especially Prabhuji is such a lover of Bhagavad Gita, is such a lover of scripture, such a lover of chanting of the holy name. Though he is such a senior position now in ISKCON Dwarka, he is the vice president of ISKCON Dwarka, along with Amulila Prabhu. Amulila Prabhu, I think all of the devotees know here. So, along with Amulila Prabhu, they really manage our ISKCON Dwarka temple. And with so much of responsibility, Prabhuji would love to go for japa retreats, inspire the leaders to be absorbed in sadhana, and to understand the basics of our parampara and how it can be applied in our life. And he has been guiding, like especially our ACA center and so many other devotees also. He has been really guiding. He is one of the founding members. And for your information, do you know who started this Gita course program in Akshar Yoga? Anybody knows? Haribol! Yes, these are founder Acharya of Gita course at Akshar Yoga. Just before COVID, he started this Gita course. Right? Of course, because of COVID, after that, we went online, and then Prabhuji, after COVID, he took care of our ACA center, and then, because the instruction of his spiritual master, he dedicated his life full time, and now he's serving in ISKCON Dwarka. But before that, yes, this is one of his key projects. That's where he started. So we are struggling in a humbling manner to take it ahead. But we are very, very grateful to have Prabhuji. Last 2 months back, we had the opportunity to have his association in Vrindavan and Govardhan. And he was really giving so many wonderful realizations how by practicing bhakti, it can be so sublime, how it can be so fulfilling into our heart. And I'm very, very fortunate to have our dear friend and also the Siksha Guru, His Grace Siksha, His Grace Sri Gaurav Prabhu. Let's welcome Sri Gaurav Prabhu by loudly chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you very much. So once again, I would remind the devotees to please keep your phone in a silent mode or switch off, so that we can take advantage of it here very sincerely. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So I'm thankful to His Grace Sudhi Gopal Prabhu, His Grace Gopinath Prabhu for inviting me here. Whatever he spoke about me, you will understand from the fact that I have grown in Krishna consciousness in Bangalore under the guidance of His Grace Sudhi Gopal Prabhu. Prabhuji actually handholded me in my difficult times. In my good times, I had ample opportunity to associate with Prabhuji. Also with His Grace, Gopinath Pran Prabhu, we would congregate together in groups. So, Mata Shri ko pranam, Gopinath Pran Prabhu ji. So, thank you very much, Prabhuji. So today is a very special day. As you have already heard, today is appearance of Advait Acharya. Advait Acharya is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Mahavishnu, not known to many. But scriptures talk a lot about his appearance, his being Vishnu himself. And he is not just Vishnu, but he is a combination of Mahavishnu and Shiva, Sadashiva. So although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, but he comes to demonstrate that it is not the supremacy of being the personality of Godhead which is sought after by him, but it is that he loves being a devotee of God, which is a little confusing, that he is Vishnu, but at the same time he is devotee of Vishnu. So, as we just said, that he is a combination of Sadashiva and Vishnu. So, being incarnation of Sadashiva and being Mahavishnu, he is actually in his combined role, he is serving the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And we can understand him and also Nityanand Prabhu. Nityanand Prabhu is none other than Balram. So there is a pastime in the Krishna Leela where Mother Yashoda would chastise Krishna. And then, Uddhava and some other sages would come and tell her, you don't know who he is. You are chastising him, scolding him, binding him. He is Vishnu, he is Narayan, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Mother says, today you are saying that he is the Supreme Personality, tomorrow you will say this Balram is also Supreme Personality of Godhead. All these incarnations have taken birth in my home only. So the mother would not understand beyond her basic relationship of being a mother of Krishna and Balram. Because that was the relationship which Krishna wanted to enjoy. He didn't want to enjoy his being the Supreme Personality of God. He enjoys being chastised by his devotees. And there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says that I don't rejoice so much in the prayers sung by devotees from the Vedas as much as I enjoy the chastisement of gopis of Vrindavan. So, Krishna is served everywhere as the Supreme Personality, even in Vaikuntha. Even when he came as Ram, he being Narayan, he is always in awe and reverence, everyone is serving him. But then he, being the Supreme Personality, is also a person. Now, if a question is asked to you, do you love your position, your title in your company when your managers and subordinates come to you and say, yes boss, how can I do this, or when your son climbs on your shoulders. And so Krishna, being person, he is also looking for that kind of relationship. When not only that he wants everyone to come and bow down before him, but he wants someone to really, be playful with him. And that is why Krishna, being Krishna, is known as Purna Purushottam Bhagavan. When he came as Ram, he was Maryada Purushottam. When he was as Narayan, he is Purushottam. Ram was displaying his pastimes in a limited role of being Maryada Purushottam, within boundaries of etiquettes and courtesies and culture. And when he would be requested to do something more than, the boundary, he said, not now. I'll do it when I come as Krishna. So, when he came as Krishna, he broke all those boundaries. He broke all those barriers. And he would relish, he would allow everyone to approach in any relationship they wanted to enjoy with him. Like his friends, he would play with them. Just normal hide and seek, just throwing balls here and there, playing with them around in the garden, the way we do. He would also reciprocate with his parents, Yashoda Maiya and Nanda Maharaj. He would carry their sleepers on his head. He would hold umbrella to protect them from rain. When did he hold that umbrella? When was the rain when he had to protect the Brijvasis? Govardhan Leela, the famous Govardhan Leela. When he made the whole Giriraj, the mountain, as umbrella to protect the Brijvasis. Right? He serves as messenger of Pandavas. He becomes chariot driver for Arjuna. Right? So he does everything in which he can relish that relationship with his pure devotees. And when he appeared as Krishna, he also delivered a philosophical conclusion about the supremacy of Vishnu, about the supremacy of Narayan, about the supremacy of Krishna. Being supreme controller, being supreme enjoyer, by giving Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, he said, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma suchaha. Just surrender unto me. But Krishna, when you were playing your pastimes, you were surrendering to your devotees. We never saw your devotees surrendering to you. They'll climb on your shoulders, they will gopis will chastise you, and your mother will bind you. We never saw you in that role. So, while Krishna gave the conclusive Bhagavad Gita, the philosophical climax of Vedanta, the cream of Vedas, but there was no demonstration actually wherein the devotees who would practice that devotion to him can understand. And the situation of this particular yuga, which is Kali Yuga, is precarious. It's difficult. We can understand. For us, sometimes we decide that let me do this, let me take care of this and that, and we see how often we fail. We are not able to do that one small thing. And what we talk about realizing and practicing spirituality and understanding Bhagavad Gita, while Arjuna could understand that in an hour's time, but it is so difficult for us. And even somehow if we understand, the conclusions of Bhagavad Gita, to follow them is next to impossible. And so, being Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was seeing all that was happening. And when the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu, who is the source of the creation of the entire universe, he appeared on earth as Advaita Acharya. He was really feeling bad looking at the condition where people are busy. His Grace Mahatseva Prabhu Ki Jai. He was busy doing, he would see people are busy doing rituals, just without understanding the core philosophy, without understanding the spirit behind the rituals. He would see that people are busy after sense gratification, about sense enjoyment, not understanding that this same sense enjoyment is creating a miserable situation for them, in which they are just getting entangled more and more and more. Dhruv Maharaj said that in Srimad Bhagavatam, that the people are not able to understand the miserable situation they are in, and they are trying to find a solution out of it. And the solution is superficial material solution. And that solution is actually entangling them more and more in the miseries. So what is the ultimate solution to come out of this miserable situation? And Advaita Acharya was understanding that these people are confused. He was devastated. So Advaita Acharya, being Advaita Acharya, he, out of his deep compassion, he would pray to whom? Now Mahavishnu, being Mahavishnu, whom would he pray to? He will pray to the fountainhead of all incarnation, the original, Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He would offer tulsi leaves and water of Ganges to Shaligrama and pray to Lord Sri Krishna. And in addition to these two things, what were these two things? Tulsi leaves and water of Ganges. He added two more things to it, and they were his tears. He would cry. And what for was he crying? Was he crying for himself? He was crying for all of us. Looking at our situation, that we are busy in so many things. We are trying to find the source of happiness. We are trying to be happy. We are trying to seek pleasure. But at the end, we are just getting entangled more and more in our own miserable situation. So he was crying for all of us. And not only was he crying, he was loudly crying. He was weeping. He was roaring. And he was doing that constantly, day after day after day. And he would pray deeply, in a very deep, prayerful mood to Krishna. And he showed to all of us that if we cry to Krishna, if we offer Krishna with deep love and devotion, Krishna can descend. So Sri Krishna, in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, descended, hearing the request, the prayers full of compassion and love of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is known to be the reason of bringing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down on earth. And through this example, he is helping us understand that if we chant our rounds, if we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If we chant this, cry, crying in love for Krishna, crying in love for Radharani, then they will descend in our heart. Advaita Acharya was not crying for himself, he was crying for all of us. And it was not that he was just crying, but he was living his life which was full of compassion and exemplary in his behavior. Once his dear friend Haridas Thakur. Now Haridas Thakur is again a great devotee. He would chant how many rounds of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mandu, you know? How many rounds are you chanting? 2 rounds, 4 rounds? Maximum? Don't chant more than 16 rounds. 20, Chaitanya chanted 20 rounds. So, how many rounds was Haridas Thakur chanting? 192 rounds. In a month. In a day. Haridas Thakur was chanting 192 rounds every day. And Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Shri Krishna wanted to demonstrate through Haridas Thakur that your background, the baggage of your background is not important for Krishna. Krishna is not looking at our past. Krishna is looking at our potential. Because if he looks at our past, will we ever be qualified to practice Krishna consciousness? Not only of this life, past is a number of lifetimes we have spent. So Krishna is being Krishna, being merciful. He doesn't look at our past. He looks the potential of us as a soul, that we can love him the way the Brajvasis loved him. And he wanted to show to all of us that how to love Krishna. And that is why Advaita Acharya called Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. And Krishna didn't come alone this time. He came along with Radha. So he is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, in a mood of devotee, mood of Radharani. Krishna, what is the color of Krishna? Shyam, like a dark cloud. But what was the color of Radha? Gold. And then, if you combine these two, Radha and Krishna, the form which takes place is Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually descended on the call of Advaita Acharya to help us come out from our bondage, from our entanglement, to demonstrate how we can surrender in love, in devotion to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. On the footsteps of Brajvasis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended to give us the highest thing, which was never given in past. And what was that? It was not just a devotion. Because you can be a devotee of Vishnu, you can be a devotee of Ram, you can be a devotee of Narayan, and all of them are Vishnu, in essence, in Tattva. Then what is the main thing for which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended? To give that highest thing. Now what more is there? So as shared with all of you, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not looking for our awe and reverence, but he is looking for our love. And love's most intimate reciprocation was demonstrated by the Brajvasis. the residents of Braj. And it was in different mellows. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually helped us to understand. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came alone as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he brought Balram along with him. Balram came as Balram. You know why? Because when he came as Lakshman, he had to tolerate too much. He had to see his lordships walking barefoot in the forest. Mother Sita would say that I am afraid to touch the lotus feet of Ram because they are so soft that my touch can hurt him. And those same lotus feet would walk barefoot in the forest. And then there were thorns, there were stones, there was blood oozing out of the lotus feet of Sri Ram. And looking at all that, Lakshman will feel big pain. And Lakshman, being a younger brother, was helpless. He was not able to say anything to Lord Ram. So he decided, next time when I come, I am not going to come as a younger brother again. No. I'll come as a elder brother. And this time also, Balram as Nityananda Ram decided to come as a elder brother. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's magnanimous. He's known for him being magnanimous. His magnanimity is so much that he is giving the highest treasure of Brajala to whom? To people who are not even qualified. No, why do we say that we are not qualified? We have so many degrees. Now we have artificial intelligence, all that we have. We have so advanced so much. We have, an entire world in our hand. But with all that, are we in peace? Are we happy? Do we have satisfaction? Are we not frustrated? Don't we have anxiety? Do we get angry? Are we envious? And with all those things, even if we have all the riches of the world, we are just like a hollow shell. And Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they understood this. Nityananda Prabhu understood this. While Advait Acharya had a heart which was prayerful, which called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down on earth, it was Nityananda Prabhu who had heart to actually distribute that love to every corner of this world. Nityananda Prabhu didn't see any qualification of anyone. He didn't see who is qualified to get that love, to get that devotion. There is a pastime wherein Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, because he wanted to distribute this love, this devotion to everyone, he called for Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Now, who is Haridas Thakur? We heard about Haridas Thakur. He would chant 192 rounds. But it was not that he was just chanting. He was a preacher also. He was Acharya. So he called for, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called, Haridas, you come here. Nityanand, you come here. You have to do me a favor. Go and knock on the door of each and every house, of every town and every village. and request them to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent these two exalted devotees, two exalted personalities to do this. And Nityanand and Haridas, they would go out, knock on every door. Now, we cannot imagine what happens when devotees go out on book distribution, or they go out requesting people to take Harinam, to read Bhagavad Gita, to try to understand who Krishna is. It's not all rosy picture. Sometimes they are chastised, people spit upon them, people use all vulgar language. Sometimes the devotees are beaten, sometimes the devotees are put behind bar. It's the compassion of the devotee which is taking them, which is bringing them on the streets. Because they want to help everyone. The love of a devotee is demonstrated by their nature of helping everyone. Because when they have this treasure, when they are enjoying so much of bliss and happiness, they want to share with others. And when they go out on the street, they face a lot of challenges and difficulties. And do you think Haridas Thakur and Nityanand Prabhu would also face those challenges? Do you think they would face? They did face. And Haridas Thakur would return back and he would say to Mahaprabhu and others, Mahaprabhu, with whom have you sent me? This madman Nityanand. You know, he will unnecessarily create problems for me. He would unnecessarily bother people. And he would approach them, anyone and everyone, even drunkards. Even those who are so dangerous. And I was not so much afraid of my life when I was beaten in 22 marketplaces as I am afraid with this Avadhut Nityananda. He's so dangerous. By saying all this, he was actually glorifying Nityananda, that he was fearless in his preaching. He was fearless. Nityananda wanted to actually spread glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That how magnanimous he is, that he is not considering qualification of anyone. Even if you are drunkard, even if you are a meat eater, even if you don't have control on any of the senses, you are still qualified to receive the highest treasure of love for Krishna. And Nityananda Ram Prabhu will take all the rest for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And once upon a time, he took that challenge. When he was distributing, he was knocking at every door. Some people told him that there are two brothers, two notorious brothers. Do you know the name? They were from Brahmin family. Jagai and the real name was what? Jagadanand and Madhavanand. And became Jagai and Madhav. Like today someone legal name their mother put Ram and Shyam, but it becomes Tony and Johnny. Same thing happened to our Jagai and Madhav. Jagadanand and Madhavanand became Jagai and Madhav. Born in Brahmin family, high parentage, but they ended up notorious criminals. They would beat anyone for anything. They would always be drunk. Always. They will not mind killing anyone. So the people of Navdeep said, Nityananda, if you really wanted to spread the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have to show by having these two brothers chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Do you think Nityananda Ram will take up that challenge? Do you think? You know, it was not easy. It's not easy to preach. And Nityananda Ram actually took up that challenge. Because of him being a servant of his spiritual master, Krishna. He would do anything and everything to spread glories of Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The same Balram. What happened when there was someone who was saying that, who is this Ram? Can he lift this bow? Right? In the Swayamvar ceremony of Mother Sita. When people were talking low about Ram, Lakshman became so angry, so devastated. He'd say, I can throw this earth as a ball in the Garbhodak ocean. And I am his younger brother. What can't he do? That same Balram is holding millions and billions of universes on his head, as if they are small seeds. Balram effortlessly can do anything and everything. But that same Balram took a humble position of Nityananda Ram, and he took up that challenge. Actually, that was a compassion of Nityananda. He, along with Haridas Thakur, went and he saw these two brothers. Their eyes were rolling. They were drunk. They were actually beating each other. They will do that very often. When they will not find anyone to beat, they will beat each other. And they will use all foul language. Haridas Thakur said, Nityananda Ram, are you sure? Nityananda Ram said, yes, I am. Let's go together. Nityananda Ram said, hey, Chaghai Madai, you are Brahmanas. You have taken birth in Brahman families. Why you are spoiling your life, drinking, and doing all this nonsense? Please take up this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Take up this chanting. Jagai and Madai, who is there to instruct us? Jagai, who is there to instruct us? And they started running after as if to kill Nityananda. And then Nityananda and Haridas ran. And Haridas said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, today I would have been definitely killed. This Nityananda used to say. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, is there anyone really bothering you, Haridas? I will send my Sudarshan. Please don't worry. Nityananda Prabhu reminded, my dear Mahaprabhu, you have not appeared to lift your Sudarshan in Kali Yuga. You will lift your sword towards the end of Kali Yuga. But now you have come in a magnanimous incarnation to distribute your love. So please allow us to spread that love of Krishna on your behalf. But Haridas Thakur was very hesitant. They were both friends, Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu. The next day, again, they went. And this time, Nityananda Ram again pleaded to Jagai Madhai. And this time, you know what happened? Madhai took a pot and threw it on Nityananda Ram. And then what happened? Nityananda Ram started bleeding. All those difficulties, all that blood, what for was he taking? It was all for us, so that we can take up the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It was to give us this treasure, because in this Kali Yuga, Krishna has stored his love in this Mahamantra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has specifically stored love of Krishna in this Mahamantra. This Mahamantra is not just Krishna, but there is his internal pleasure potency Radharani as Hara, which we pronounce in the mantra as Hare. So when Krishna is combined with Radharani, he becomes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He becomes the most munificent, magnanimous, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, approachable. And if we chant that mantra with full sincerity, in a loving mood, in a very humble mood, feeling lot of gratitude, crying for Krishna, that please allow me to approach you. And Nityananda Ram Prabhu actually approached Jagai and Madhai in that mood. What did Madhai do? He threw. But Nityananda Ram, he didn't run away this time. He again pleaded to Madhai and Jagai. Please try to understand. Whatever you are doing to enjoy. But the highest enjoyment is in relishing this holy name. You cannot get so much of bliss by being with girls, by being with prostitutes, by killing, by cheating, by drinking, by anything and everything. No. I request you to please take this chanting of the Mahamantra. And then Madhai was again approaching Nityananda. He was again trying to hit him. But then his brother Jagai stopped him. She said, hey, no one has dared to share this thing to us. Please try to understand what he's trying to give to us. And then when this news went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that someone has hit Nityananda and he was pleading, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually became very furious. He came running to that spot and he had got Sudarshan in the hand. And we know an incident from Srimad Bhagavatam when the Sudarshan came after someone. Who was that? Durvasa Muni. And at that time, did Durvasa Muni hit Amrish Maharaj? He had not yet hit, but Sudarshan was after Durvasa Muni. But here we see that Nityananda Ram has already been hit and he was bleeding. And Mahaprabhu became very furious. No one can dare to touch my devotee. How could they dare to touch Nityananda? He was unstoppable. But then same Nityananda fall in the foot of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he pleaded for Jagai and Madhai to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that please forgive them, please forgive them. They are not at fault. They are not at fault. It is my fault. They were not in the correct situation. I approached them in the wrong situation. Please be merciful upon them. Please bestow your blessings upon them. And this Jagai actually wanted to help me. He wanted to protect me. He stopped his brother. And when Mahaprabhu heard that, he went and embraced Jagai. And when Jagai was embraced, what happened to Jagai? He was in ecstasy. He started crying. He was dancing. He was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And when Madai saw Jagai, Madai also bowed down. He paid his humble obeisances in the foot of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all that was possible only by Nityananda. Because of Nityananda, we can only approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's magnanimity through Nityananda Prabhu. And these two personalities can be approached through Advaita Acharya. What is this demonstrating to us? That we can approach Krishna through devotees. Krishna says that while all these Atmaram Bhakta, these Atmaram self-realized people, the spiritual transcendentalists, they are almost at same level as I am. But when it comes to my Ananya Bhakta, they are higher than me. I place them as on top of me. And that is why sometimes we get confused when he becomes chariot driver of Arjuna, when he becomes messenger of Pandavas, when he is holding the sleepers of his parents on his head, when he is worshipping his own devotees, when he is doing this and that. Actually, it is reciprocation of his love for his devotees. And he says that Aham Bhakta Paradhina. I am under my devotees. My devotees are in my heart and I am in their heart. So if devotees are pleased by us, then Krishna is pleased by us. The whole aim, the goal, the purpose of our life is fulfilled. And it's very easy to please the devotees. The devotees, do our devotees like good prasadam? They like. Do our devotees like to be heard when they're speaking about Krishna? Yes, they love. Do they like to dance? They do like. So just being with devotees, doing all these things, dancing, chanting, feasting, that's all. And then the same Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bestow his mercy upon us also. So on this auspicious day, the appearance of Advaita Acharya, on the appearance day of Nityananda Ram, we pray to these lordships, please bestow their mercy upon all of us, so that we can approach their original Supreme Personality, Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also approach them, also serve them in the same love, in the same mood of Brajvasis. We can approach them. And we will be able to fulfill the mission of this human birth, which is so very important. Hare Krishna. Thanks to all of you for hearing, and thanks to His Grace Sri Gopal Prabhuji, His Grace Gopinath Ram Prabhu, and all others. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your wonderful session. If you like, if you can share some similar incidents that happened in Russia, how the devotees were there, how different people devotees there.
You know, there is very heart-touching thing. There is a book known as Salted Bread. If you want to really understand the importance of Bhagavad Gita and the deep love which people outside India have for Bhagavad Gita, for Krishna, you should read that book. The way they struggled in Russia, they were put behind bars, they were beaten, they were tortured, they were starved to death. They were asked one thing, the KGB, their secret agency requested them one thing, that you just write on a paper that, this Gita is nonsense and, this Krishna consciousness is nothing. We will just leave you. They were beaten like you will dare not to beat an animal. These devotees in Russia were beaten like that in the jail. But they would not write one thing. Why? Because they knew that Krishna is there in Gita. They knew that the life of humanity can be transformed by Bhagavad Gita. They knew that what these people are hankering from, they can all get that bliss, that pleasure, that happiness from Bhagavad Gita. So they didn't compromise. They faced all the challenges and struggles. Many devotees gave their lives. But they wanted to present the importance of Bhagavad Gita and Hare Krishna Mahamantra for all of us. I would request you, you please try to procure that book, The Salted Bread, and read it. And you will then understand actually the importance of Bhagavad Gita. What Bhagavad Gita can give to all of us. They are very austere, very sincere, these devotees, especially Russian devotees. I know of them because I was in Russia, I was in Moscow. They would live very austere life. In minus 30, 35, they will go out and distribute the Bhagavad Gita on the streets. To foreigners, to Russians. Minus 35. There were Russians who were deep there in Siberia. Somehow they got a copy of Bhagavad Gita and they started practicing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavad Gita, which is so easily available to us, actually it was not as easily available 500 years back. And what to talk about 500 years back, even 50 years back, this was not available. Devotees would smuggle these books in countries like Russia so that devotees can read. They would have printing press, being run underground. Otherwise, their secret agencies would not allow. Religion was not practiced so easily. Even recently, what to talk about the times of USSR, but even recently, one of our sannyasis was put behind bars. But they are taking all the challenges, everything, just to help us understand the importance of Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because they know that they can fulfill the mission of their life by reading this Bhagavad Gita. So I request all of you to please try to read Bhagavad Gita. And you can better understand Bhagavad Gita when you are in association with devotees. When you come and hear in classes, otherwise, when you are just reading, things sometimes may turn up a little difficult to understand, but then devotees can help us understand. Yeah. I'm very happy to see devotees gradually advancing their spiritual lives. Naveen Chetan Prabhu has got initiated, so many others are naturally taking up spiritual life sincerely. Good to see all these devotees. It is real bliss. Otherwise, why would we leave our corporate jobs and medical practice and It's Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, actually, it is sukham kartumasya. It's like you really relish it, and you do it, and it is experiential. You experience the happiness. It's not something theoretical. You enjoy the bliss at every step. Yeah.
So when we are working with people from another nation, and let's say they're from another background, maybe they follow some other religion, and then giving a book to them would bring a lot of resistance, or it can have like a conversion kind of angle. How do we deal with that?
See, when we are talking about India, we are talking context of India.
Outside India, when we
Outside India, it's easy. I have spent years of my life staying outside India, and I've traveled all over the world. Outside India, practicing a spiritual life or sharing these things are not considered as, something which is chaotic or no, it's not. I would go out on the streets in Russia and we would distribute, and people, they are not fanatic in that sense, fanatic in that sense, common people. So if they are able to understand, they would like to try it. So it's not that difficult. And in India, also, it's, if someone is being offensive, then you can just say Hare Krishna. Because there are many others who actually are looking for these books. So, and you can just, everyone likes to eat sweets, you can give some prasad to them. That's all. So just by eating, they will gain spiritual piety. Sukruti. They gain spiritual piety, and one day they will end up. There's so many Muslims and Christians who end up studying Gita, practicing Krishna consciousness, even in India. Anything else? Any comments or?
So what about the other sampradayas, mantras? Do they also have the same potency like other three sampradayas?
See, when we were trying to explain that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to bestow something which was not bestowed, kind of distant past. Actually, Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came specifically to give Braja Bhakti. Right? So, that is the bhakti which he has actually inserted in this Mahamantra. Because as explained, this Hara in the Mahamantra, which is pronounced as Hare, is the internal treasured potency of Krishna. Right? So his main gift to us is that treasure, that love in line of Brajvasis. Now Hanumanji is very satisfied in him being a servant of Lord Ram. Right? So everyone has their own kind of set of relationship with Krishna, right? But here in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give something very specific, which in scriptures is considered to be the highest and the most deep. Because that relationship with Krishna reciprocated as being Purna Purushottam Bhagavan. He was not Maryada Purushottam or just Purushottam. He was Purna Purushottam. So being Purna Purushottam, he didn't consider any boundaries in his relationship with his devotees. For example, we would see some stories of some friends with Lord Ram, right? But we would hardly see the friendship like Subala had with Krishna. That we never hear in Ramayana. Someone climbing on his shoulders, just doing anything and everything we do with our friends. Right? He opened himself. He playing around with his friends, with gopis, with everyone and anyone. He did not hesitate to demonstrate his relationship. He was just open. So that is available in the Mahamantra. And that has to be chanted in that mood which is coming down from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even Mahamantra was available before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Right? And that is why sometimes it is so important for us to understand and read and hear the scriptures so that we understand what is what. So when we chant other mantras, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayana, so yes, you can attain love for Narayana. You can attain love for Vasudeva. Right? So you cannot end up being in Vaikuntha without that deep love, that's for sure. You cannot get there just by doing regulative things in a spiritual life. Ultimately, even to go to Vaikuntha, you have to cry for Narayana. You have to be in deep love. But that deep love, that tears will be in awe and reverence. But here, it's the deep love is in different mellows of Braj Bhakti. That is specificity of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to do. And what, if we understand that mood, we follow the process as it is defined by our predecessors Acharya, by Srila Prabhupada, by our spiritual master, then there is no one stopping to also get that thing transferred to us. Yes, you do it. I know everyone is fasting and it's already 1:28. You are not allowed to ask questions. You were in the panel to answer the question. The panel member is never allowed to question another member.
So, we are very thankful and grateful to His Grace Sri Lord Prabhu for giving this wonderful